Ho, 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 and Merry Christmas, YouTube. Guys, I got a gift for you today. It's some information, some sources that you can use to help get you prepared for what's coming, okay? And the idea wasn't my own. It actually came to me through one of my patrons on Patreon, so I took it and ran with it, okay? And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to share some sources of information. I'm going to give you guys 2 books, okay? And I'm going to give you another source. It's all readable information, but to me, it's the top. I think it's the top for people. It's the top that I would recommend, right? Everyone's different. Everyone could use some different information. We all know certain things. There's other things we don't know, right? But what can I recommend? And the 2 books are books that I own and I've traveled with for a long time. They always come with me when I'm like seriously out traveling, okay? Guys, I spent 8 years off grid, and I traveled for a good portion of those years all over the place, living out in the backwoods and shit, okay, and out in the desert and stuff, okay? These books came with me during that entire time. They always came with me. There's some other books I brought, but they weren't always there, you know? Sometimes I bring them, sometimes I wouldn't. These are like part of the holy grail of this, you know, of survival to me, okay? And that's why I want to share them. All right. Now, guess what they are real quick. You're probably not going to guess right. Okay. Unless you're a patron on Patreon and I've already shared some information, right? Those guys might get it right, but most people aren't going to guess this. Probably a lot of you are going to be like, he's going to suggest some military field manual or some SAS survival handbook or some shit, right? No. And guys, I will tell you, I have read a ton of survival books throughout the years. And I've kind of discussed learning curves a little bit on this channel, right? When you get into anything, the learning curve's like this, but it starts to peter out, okay? I'm up here. I am still seeking new knowledge every day, and every day I learn something, okay? And I spent a lot of time on YouTube and reading and stuff like that, but I know a lot at this point in time, and so it's kind of hard to find good information. But what I'm going to give you right now is loaded with good information. It is literally part of the 20% that's going to produce the 80% of the results for you when the shit hits the fan. So let's get right into it. All right, I know y'all are busy. Don't want to waste too much time with me here. Book number 1, Participating in Nature by Thomas Elpel. Dudes, this book is amazing. It is my favorite book on this topic. And there is no second place, man. This book trashes everything else, okay? So let me tell you about it real quick. It's very easily written. It's very easy to understand. It is to the point. There are illustrations. It is in black and white, but the illustrations are good. You can see the pictures. You understand what he's talking about, okay? And Elpel is kind of like a little bit of a hippie, I guess you could say, right? Like he appreciates the native culture knowledge and the way people used to do it. And he spent so much time developing his skills. And he shares so much stuff. I'm sure he has secrets that aren't in this book. But dudes, this book is like the bomb, man. Okay, it goes over everything from like tanning hides and making clothes to, you know, all of the considerations regarding like shelters, like man-made shelters with natural materials out in the boonies, to water, to everything, guys, okay? I'm going to sit next to you real quick and kind of flip through it, okay? But you'll see he just goes over, I mean, you can tell that the text is kind of on the small side, which is great. It means you're getting more bang for your buck in the book, right? Like I said, it's illustrated. Dudes, this is a must-have book, okay? Even if you're not a survivalist and you're not a prepper, but you're someone that likes to go out away from people and get out, there's going to come a point in time where this book may very well keep your ass alive or make you a lot more comfortable. Get this book, dudes. It's just not that expensive, okay? The next one, oddly enough, is another book done by Thomas Elpel. This one is Botany in a Day. This guy lived a freaking interesting life as a kid, man. You know what? I might actually give a freaking nut for that opportunity. No, probably not a nut. Maybe something else, like a pinky or some shit. But apparently he grew up with his grandmother, spent a lot of time with her, and she took him out and taught him how to identify all kinds of plants by the families. Okay? And how by understanding the families and knowing them, you can find out like what's edible, right? What's not, what's poisonous. You know what I'm saying? If there's medicinal qualities, all of this stuff. And he breaks down this entire thing for you in this book. Okay? So if you're interested in that, and you know what? Anybody that may have to, like, dude, all preppers and survivalists should have some kind of interest in this, or they should have somebody in their group that is studying this kind of knowledge. Okay? Let's flip through it again. I'm going to sit next to you again. This book is much like the first one, although this one has a lot of color illustrations as well. They're probably 50-50. Okay? You know? But look at that, guys. And I know I'm losing the light. All right? Just an amazing book. And it's these two have gone with me on my travels. Okay? And that's not going to change. Dudes, I don't plan on being here forever. I've got bigger plans, and a lot of these plans are, because of this channel and what I want to do with it. But I will be out. I will be all over the states again, and those books will be with me. Okay? So what is the third resource? Well, the third resource is Jim Rawls' blog. It is shtfblog.com. I believe it's a .com. It might be a .org. But it shouldn't be hard to find, guys. Just Google search SHTF blog. It'll pop right up. Jim Rawls has been a survivalist for a long time, dudes. And he's older than me. He's been doing it forever. And, I've definitely learned some stuff from him throughout the course of my life. I'm not one of those dudes that's hanging out on his blog site all the time. But I know what kind of information is available on there. And those of you that follow my channel, you know I am for prepping right now. We should all be prepping. And that website is an amazing resource of information. There's a lot of people that contribute to the page. It's not all written by him, and it's just an amazing resource, guys, and it's free. Okay, so I know some people are hard up for cash, and it's hard to go run out and spend possibly $60 on those two books. I don't know what they're going for these days, but I imagine they're probably in the high 20s each. Okay. If you can't do that, you know what? Get on Jim Rawls' blog site and start learning some information there. Okay. That's it, dudes. I'm going to wrap it short, sweet, to the point. Okay. Like, share, subscribe to the video. Hit us up in the comments, man. Do you know about those books? Do you have them? What do you think about them? If not, what are your big books? What are you really into, right? Oh, before I forget, dudes, okay? You don't want to be humping books out if you have to bug out an SHTF. So I am going to just highly recommend you consider putting amazing resources like that in a cache at your bug out spot. All right? Think about that. Okay? Check out my link in the Patreon. Check out my Patreon page, guys. If you like what I'm doing and you want to give me a tip, that's the place to do it. But if you want to help support the future of the channel, that's also the place to do it. I've got all kinds of extra videos on there, and I just started doing longer videos that are for patrons only. And if you're into that, check it out, okay? That's it, dudes. I'll see you all in the next one. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and I will be back at it in the next couple days.